think it's going to be a struggle to find an art as cute as Shifter Xeris for this card. Because I wanted to go for a faceless Naraki flavor. But I don't think it's going to be possible. Because Shifter Xeris is seemingly one of its kind. Let's see if they have the Rise of Shadows full art yet for the bosses. If so, I could use that painter, the painter guy. They still don't. I don't think so, at least. Some of them they do, but not many. You're here to ruin my day. Thanks, Logo. I had an awful day. Just kidding. It was fine. The $1 on heist press kit. I'm going to find this painter art. I think it's probably the best. Oh, I found it! Amazing. Rassel Fireborn. I think this is too big to use. What's up, Banter? I kind of want to just call it Rassel Dazzle. Like Razzle Dazzle. Yeah, alright. I don't think there's any more modifications you can make to this card. The one hidden rule with this card is that obviously it won't transform in between games. Like, if you're in the middle of a game and the day passes, it won't transform. And the other thing is, if you put this into a deck with another neutral legendary minion, and it transforms into a copy of that minion, like, if you put this into a deck with Leroy, and the next day it happens to be Leroy, it'll invalidate the deck. Actually, it'll only transform into legendary minions that you don't own, obviously. Actually, that's a better stipulation. Okay. Yeah. Disregard what I said. So that'll never be an issue, because if you put this into a deck with a legendary minion that you own, Razzle Dazzle will never transform into it. And the reason that neutral is in there is because... thanks, Jared. Cool mechanic that provides player attention in a very fun, non-abusive way. I totally agree. Basically, like... when Blizzard saw the success of Whizbang, they should not have made this as Shadow Cloak. They should have made something like this, in my opinion. Obviously, Shadow Cloak was probably easier for them to make. They could just copy the code from Whizbang or whatever. But anyway, the only reason that it's neutral only is because it works in such a way that you can put Razzle Dazzle in your deck, and like, you can have that deck be valid no matter what. And like I said, it'll only transform into cards you don't own, so. Do you guys think that putting the you don't own stipulation on there is advisable and or required? Because I could go either way. I don't think it's a huge deal. And now I'm going to remove the exclamation mark, but I feel like people get the idea with the people will get the idea without the you don't own part, and it's more fun to have the exclamation mark. It sounds weird, but so I thought about that logo. I thought about it invalidating pay-to-win players, also not pay-to-win, but just people who have a large collection, and I realized, like, I mean, Whizbang does the same thing. Like, Whizbang is useless to people who have every card in the game, so I think it's fine if Razzle Dazzle is. And I'm going to leave it classic, even though this is Rise of Shadows art, because, like, ideally this would be a classic card or something. Speaking of that, aren't we getting replacements for Rag? Oh, no, we're not. We're only getting replacements for Naturalize, right? Yeah, never mind. I was going to say, but those are apparently coming really soon. This is official Blizzard art. I don't have the art source on hand, Yeah, that's all I can say. I don't want to take a guess, but like, it's probably something like Konstantin Turovec, because he made so much art. Yeah, we should be soon, but we're not getting Reg and Silver placements. We're Azure Drake, obviously. I forgot that they're only doing it for class cards. Besides, those have been in Hall of Fame for quite a while now, so. Okay, I'm not gonna make this card. I'm not gonna like hit create, but I just want to show you guys because I was brainstorming these ideas the other day. And there was only like one person on when I was creating it. So here's the idea. A very original idea. Just kidding, but it's called Vehicle. I know. What does it do? Good question. Okay, so what this does is it has no attack and health. When you put it on the board, it's basically a permanent. If you play a minion to the left of it, it becomes a passenger. It occupies it moves onto that permanent spot and becomes a passenger. And then when a passenger dies, a vehicle loses 1 durability, basically. Nice logo. Yeah, that was more of a joke logo, but I put this in kind of as a joke to. Yeah, no, that was correct logo. I mean, Pirates Ride Free was more just like a very extreme example of flavor wording, but the idea is that Pirates Ride Free would mean that pirates don't use up the vehicle's durability. Not the most intuitive mechanic. Yeah, definitely. It would be a heavy focus of the expansion, like Magnetic. I think with Magnetic having existed, I think Vehicle is reasonable to exist. Because it really is basically just a variable magnetic. You put it down, and you can magnetize things to it X times. That's pretty much all it is. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to show that off. I'm not going to make a card like that on stream, because then I would have to make a bunch, and that would be annoying for you guys to watch. Alright, let's top down the card, I guess, because I got nothing coming to my head. Okay, this is kind of cool. Like a Knights of the Frozen Throne. We made a card that had a very similar art to this. I think it might have been the same artist, but we made one yesterday. This could also be Witchwood, but then I think it would have to be considered a Worgen or something like that. We'll just call it Knights. Okay, I'm gonna come up with a name. Harrow Cultist. I don't know. I looked up Harrow and it doesn't. You can't be using an adjective like that, similar to harrowing. Brutal art. Yeah, this guy's got to deal some damage or something. Oh, I kind of want to reuse a mechanic that I invented once before, which was can attack your hero to X. So, your hero is a valid target for this minion, and if you do attack your hero, then you get some bonus. Ooh, what about summon a copy of this minion to summon another hero cultist? I think that's a pretty fitting reward. That's probably epic then, because it's very swingy, I guess. How's Grim Patron worded? It says summon another, but I don't really have room for another, so. Arena Patron also says another Arena Patron. Let's see if we can fit another Hero Cultist onto 3 lines. Yeah, that works. Can attack your hero to summon another Hero Cultist. And I think it fits the flavor of cult. Well, what about Howling Cultist? Because it's like a wolf pack now. Oh, what about Leader of the Pact? Instead of Leader of the Pack. Is this a dumb name? Someone just tell me if it's dumb, I won't take offense. I think it's fine? Okay. The other option is Howling Cultist, like I said. If I want some wolf cult thing, ping me the art. Okay. I might just keep it as this one, but also if you have a better art, then feel free to take a look. Oh yeah, this one. I don't think it'll fit like fantastically on a minion. Let's see. But yeah. We'll try it. That's fine. I think that's fine. Maybe I can, yeah. See, I almost want to zoom out so you can get the extra wolves in there, but you kind of got to zoom in on this guy, which is fine, maybe. And then we can make it a Witchwood card. Okay. I'm okay with this. I think that this works. Okay, so this art is by James Payek. I like this card. It's cool. I had another idea for a kind of crazy dumb card. It would be like a 3-mana 2/5. Both players draw from a copy of their opponent's deck. So basically, both players draw from their opponent's deck, but it doesn't, when this dies, when this dies, those copies go away, and it's just, your opponent actually doesn't lose any cards from their deck. So the animation would be like both decks kind of get like shadow cloned and then swapped upwards, and then the cards are drawn from the shadow clones, but everything that relates to the 2 decks still relates to the 2 decks. So I think it's functional. A little bit intuitive, but it's a legendary, so I think it can afford that. And this is the tough part, is that like it's hard to justify this being neutral, but it's hard to justify it being priest or rogue. I mean, it probably should be priest, but I don't think people are too upset if it is neutral. Maybe I'm wrong, but I gotta find some swapper art of some kind. Well, this flavor could go a million ways. This is where like it would almost be nice to know what expansion I'm designing this for, so I can get an idea for the flavor. Or I could pull up Blizzard and just make it some generic gnome. No offense, whiz bang. There's this art, but I think some of the fun of this art is kind of lost in cropping it as a minion. Though this might not be too bad, like that. This is Hearthstone fan art by ArtStation user ZG. Now I just need to come up with a name. Also, I guess I'll make it Witchwood because it does kind of feel like Azalina. What's a synonym for soul thief? Or I guess just thief. Or I guess what's the opposite of a thief? So it would be like the opposite of Azalina, basically. Ooh, what if this is actually an epic, and we call it Soul Beneficiary? Yeah, that's totally fine, logo. No brownies today, huh? Alright, I'm gonna go with Soul Beneficiary for the pun, and because I think that the effect is low impact enough to require it being run 2 copies of. It's also a bit boring to open as a legendary, and so it's a bit safer to put as an epic so players don't hate you, like Harbinger Celestia. Okay, I'm satisfied with that explanation that I'm giving myself. Man, we're making all the Witchwood cards today because I got an idea for another one. So what were the Echo classes? Warrior, Shaman, Rogue, Paladin, Hunter, not Druid? Warlock had some. Why didn't Druid have Echo? They did have Echo. I'm just dumb. What did they have? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Okay. Priest technically did have Echo. Just on a minion, right? Yeah. Okay. So I guess Echo's not really that limited of a class mechanic. Just Mage probably can't get it. Or Priest spell. But anyway, the idea is spell 1 mana Echo. Give a 1 attack minion +1/+1. I guess Warlock really should get this. I chose Warlock randomly, but I think there's no question that this should be a Warlock card. Sound the Bells is a bit too close to this to justify it being Paladin, so there's this art. I don't know if it's too fitting. I think we can do a bit better. Also, it would be funny to make it a hat-related card, but I don't think there's any hat art besides Mad Hatter, so that's unfortunate. Because I don't think the Mad Hatter was a boss. That would be pretty good if he was. I also kind of want to make this 1 attack or less because it makes it a bit more I don't know, impactful. Usable, I guess, is the right word. Usable. Give a minion with 1 attack or less +1/+1. I guess give Give +1/+1 to a minion with 1 attack or less. That's probably 3 lines. Nope. Okay, we're good. It's kind of tough because Warlock didn't actually get any. Warlock was not one of the 4 Monster Hunt classes, so none of the arts really fit it. This one might be the best we're getting. Review your card? Okay. Oh god. Replace the board with someone else's who also played this. I mean, it's a good, like, unset or just, like, crazy idea card. Gosh, yeah, it's really crazy because, like... Yeah, that's so weird. I think it gets used as a removal most of the time. It's one of those just, like, crazy cards because, like, you want to use it as removal, right? But assuming it comes into play from the perspective of the other person who played it, they're also going to have been playing it for removal, which means it's not going to remove that much. I like the card a lot, actually. I don't think it's feasible, obviously, but I like it a lot. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with this art by Milahov Saran. It's the art of the bestiary, but I think the flavor might work enough. Cursed bestiary. Yeah, I like the card. It's pretty clever. It reminds me of something that Burb would make. If you know who that is. Or I guess I'll call it Pet Bestiary, kind of like a Pet Cemetery reference. Sands of Time. Yep, he made Sands of Time, that's correct. Sands of Time, I will say, like, for being a time travel related set, I think one of Burb's goals with that set was to make it as Blizzard quality as possible. And when I say Blizzard quality, I also mean, like, Blizzard level design, like, realism wise. So nothing in Sands of Time is too egregious, but after Sands of Time, he made some pretty crazy cards. I guess just here and there. So, yeah. This card on here gave me an idea for a card. Is Kel'Thuzad a Lich? He is Arch-Lich. Okay, the idea is Ice Lich Kel'Thuzad. Or Frost Lich, or is Arch-Lich? Arch-Lich. Isn't it the Lich? Yeah, okay, it's Lich, okay. Give like the same stats as before, but we can tweak this. And it just has Frostmourn's Death Rattle. Frostmourne as in the Death Knight token. Death Rattle, summon every minion killed by... Summon every minion killed by this. Got another card for me? Remove all left choices, or remove right choices. Oh, Jared, what's your Discord username? Just curious. I want to show off this card real quick though, to the stream, because it's a bit tough to talk about without actually like showing it all. Okay. Astaria Staghelm. Remove all left choices or right choices. So this card has a lot going on. I will say that like it definitely took me a while to understand what this does, which I think that's to be expected since the card is like pretty complicated. But in case like anyone doesn't get it who's watching the stream, you choose. It's basically Battlecry. Your choose ones cost 2 less this game. You can only choose the left choice, or you can only choose the right choice. And actually that's a bit inaccurate because with Branching Paths and War Druid Lodi, this is a bit more functional because it will only remove the left and right choices. I mean, like, obviously, you probably don't need me to tell you a couple of the flaws with this card, which is, like, it's pretty arbitrary, I think, whether a choice is left or right, or, like, first or second, basically. So, an analysis / use of this card requires just scrutiny of every choose one card in the game or in your deck or whatever. That being said, I think it's pretty clever. It's like really hard to like use this as a player because like you really need a Hearthstone deck tracker for this to be functional, for it to be like good and for you to like choose the right choice. But I think it's pretty clever. I'll give you that. It's pretty clever. So I like it. I think this is actually balanced as a 7-mana 6/8, which was what original Kel'Thuzad was, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. So I'm not a poser. Yeah, oh, he was 8-mana 6/8. So I guess we have liberty to fully balance this card then. I think as 7-mana, it's fine. At 7-mana. Also, why does Rush look so off-center? What the heck? Am I going crazy? And I'll put this in Knights of the Frozen Throne because, I don't know, it doesn't, I don't know, just give it an emblem. It doesn't really make sense as classic, but it uses Rush, so it technically has to come after Witchwood. Oh no. We'll put it in classic, I guess, I don't know. Okay. This is by Cornelia Mikos. It's still not centered. What the heck? Okay, I need to make it common because I've made a lot of high complexity cards on stream today. I kind of want to remake Coldlight Oracle as a 2-mana 2/2 that draws both players a card. So I guess I just find a Cold Light Oracle looking art. I don't know. Could be a lot of different flavors. I like this art a lot. It's just a very cool art. There's a lot of good Murloc art. Slimy Trawler. It's kind of a weird name. What about Goldfisher? Also, I need to check the Cold Light Oracle wording. Cold Light Oracle is each player draws 2 cards, so this is each player draws a card. That makes sense. Okay, I kind of like this. It seems simple enough. Got a simple name. Let me get the art source for this. He's about to get eaten. This art is by Isaiah Mesk. Spelled, last name spelled M-E-S-Q. Yeah, that's the ideal logo, except it's not as good as in Mill. I just want to make a really small Undertaker. Love the name. Thanks. Jared, you never told me, what's your Discord username? Unless you don't want to say, that's fine. I just don't recognize those cards. Unless you're not from the Discord. In which case, that's also fine. Most people here are just from the Discord. What was I gonna make? Oh yeah, a small Undertaker. No, not Undertaker. Undataka. So Undertakers gain the death rattle effects of 3 friendly minions that died this game. Never shared the cards yet? Aha. That would be why. Battlecry, gain a random friendly death rattle that was triggered this game. Or I was gonna make it discovered, but then it feels just really similar to Myra Rouspring. Battle cry, gain a random death rattle that triggered this one. Yeah, okay, that's probably fine. Gain a random friendly death rattle. Different wording than the Undertaker, but it's fine, I guess. This one is a lot less wordy, probably. Ugh. I'm really just in a Knights of the Frozen Throne mood today. This art is by Thomas Carlson. Ice Scream Soul Screamer, Soul Skyscraper. I don't know. Make it like a 4-mana 2/5. Seems like the yes logo. Finish your sentence. Oh, this Animal Crossing music is so relaxing. Tomb Lurker. Oh yeah. I guess you're right. Tomb Lurker is kind of boring though. Dang. It's kind of sucky that they printed that in Knights of the Frozen Throne. I guess I'll make this classic then, because putting this in Knights of the Frozen Throne would be like a slap in the face to Tomb Lurker. I guess times were different back then. It's like some swordswoman who steals the souls of her enemies, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, for real. Also, like, it's just epic. Like, I think I had one copy of that card, and I was like, dang, like, I wish I had 2 copies of these, but, like, I'm not crafting another one. Spicy idea time? Change friendly to enemy. I knew you were going to say that. I don't know. It's like it's like such a conditional tech card. Like, a tech card to what? If your opponent is playing a Death Rattle focus deck, it's probably, like, some bomb, like, spam Death Rattle variant. This counters, like, nothing. Like, best case scenario is, like, Mechano Egg. Why can I not think of a name for this card? It should be easy to flavor. What did I name it? I used this art before. I forgot what I named it though. I'm kind of curious now. I'm looking right now. I called it Frigid Death Caller. So I can't call it that. If I knew WoW lore, I would just probably know some Death Knight related name. Well, Death Forge. You like that it has high health, so it makes triggering the death rate more difficult. Yeah, and just like, I don't know, it would feel awkward to have it be lopsided like a 5-2 or something like that. Okay, something Death Forge. What about Eben Death Forge? Alright. I don't know what Eben is, but it seems good enough. Knights of the Eben Blade. Alright, gnomes are a part of it. I'm going with this. Eben Death Forge. Okay. Yeah, I would put this in Knights of the Frozen Throne. It definitely like flavorfully fits there. Oh no, wait. Oh, Thomas Carlson, right? That's the artist. But like, again, with Tomb Lurker, like we said, it's just like, why? Eben's like an order of Death Knights. Okay, cool. Oh man. So today's Wednesday, right? So I'll probably stream tomorrow, but I won't be able to stream for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, unfortunately. So 1 month of streaming is quickly turning into 2 months to create this 300 card goal, but I don't really care that much. Doesn't really matter to me. I would prefer not to rush out this because, yeah, I don't know. 400 card expansion with void creatures. Oh, logo. You're right. I should have done that. I was thinking, actually, like, I was wondering if there's any way for me to put this into an expansion format. It's just kind of hard, though. Let me look at my cards sheet right now and see what kind of statistics we got going on. Normally you have like 20 plus 27, so like 50 cards in an expansion are common. No, more than that. How many neutral commons are there usually? Hold on, let me just like check. Okay, so like Rise of Shadows had, yeah, 50. Okay, no, I was right. So there's usually 50 common cards in an expansion. I made like 30 on stream. Hold on, I'm updating my card counts real quick. And okay, so I have made 34 commons, 60 rares, 58 epics, and 22 legendaries. Oh no, wait, that's not right. I've made, yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't total to the total amount of cards I made. But anyway, the point is that I make too many legendaries, not enough commons, too many epics. Yeah, 58 epics, I know. I'm heavily biased towards epics as a designer. I think probably everyone is. Did I save this card? I did. You like rares too much? I mean, yeah, rares are the cards I made the most of on stream up till now. Legendaries can be kind of hard for me because, not the effects. I can usually get the effects down. Just the flavor, actually, can be kind of hard. I'm sure it's a bit easier if you're designing cards like for an expansion because like you have a pretty solid flavor theme to go for. But like I usually bottom up legendaries and like the flavor can go in so many directions. I want to make one more card. That'll be 8 for today, and then that'll be probably, I'll probably do some card reviews after. Yeah, make OC and hope at 6. That's what I usually end up doing, because Wowler is cumbersome. Not cumbersome, I don't know what the right word is. I want to make a card with this art. It's cool. It's like a pirate ship. Is it like flying or what? It's supposed to be like a rocket pirate ship, right? It's flying on the water. Patches, personal. Ride. Your pirates have vehicle 1. Man, would it be dumb to do like 0 mana warlock or why did I say warlock? Give a friendly pirate charge. I know like immediately people would be like, patches, aggro. But realistically this isn't that much damage. It's like 0 mana, deal 2 damage or 3 damage to the enemy hero. It's just not that interesting. Obviously, I'm changing the name. I guess that's my issue with it. It's just not that interesting. You liked the other one? That was a joke. I'm not making that card. What about just like 3 mana epic? Your pirates cost 0 this turn. Is this broken somehow? Maybe 4 mana because green skin. It's kind of dumb. How come? You're kind of dumb. Yeah. I mean, what's a flavorful way to do a pirate spell? I think Cannon Barrage is pretty good. For how, like, I don't know, unsatisfying that card is, I think it does its job. It's dumb at 3. Does increasing the mana cost by 1 affect the design? I don't think it makes it that different. If it's boring because you just slam pirates down, then I don't know if this will fix it. I guess what's an interesting way to do warrior spell pirate synergy? What pirate synergy cards spells even are there? Just Cannon Barrage? Let me Google. I'm probably missing some obvious one. Nope, yep, just Raiding Party and Cannon Barrage. Okay. So if Rogue likes to deal damage to enemies and draw pirates, then what does Warrior like to do with pirates? I feel like give it charge, because they had that old charge spell, right? Weapon synergies? Yeah, that's true, actually. But this card doesn't screen weapon synergy to me. That's the only reason. It's just the art. I want to say, like, 1 mana. Draw a pirate from your deck. Blast Jet Departure. I'm gonna go with draw a pirate, because Warrior has cheap draw. Well, they recently have had some interesting cheap draw with like Town Crier. So I'm gonna go with this. Draw a pirate from your deck. I don't think it needs any extra pizzazz. I think a 1 mana cantrip like this is basically like Ice Fishing but smaller, like Forge of Souls but smaller. Okay, I'm satisfied with this. Well, I'm mostly satisfied with this. I think we could do better with more time, but I'm getting sick of looking at this card, so. Okay, this art is by... I have no idea what this art is by. Oh god. Oh, wait, maybe I do. No, I don't. Shoot. Yeah, I see lots of like references to it on Google, but nothing related to an art source. The World of Warcraft Twitter account tweeted it, so I think it might be official. Oh no, wait, I found it. It's called Dreadwake Skiff by Jeremy Chong. Yep. Okay. Cool. So maybe I would change the name Blast Jet to Dreadwake. I like Blast Jet. Okay, cool. Oh, Blast Jet. Oh my gosh. I misspelled it. Okay, hold on. Wow, just auto-played to the next relaxing Animal Crossing playlist. Great job, YouTube. Okay, so let's look at the cards we made today real quick. I think only 8? Yeah. Alright. We started off with my favorite of the day, Razzle Dazzle. It's just a fun card for players to own. Gives them a new deck to play with each day, basically. Especially for like dedicated players who want to build a deck around a new legendary minion each day. Or they can see it and be like, Harbinger Celestia? No, I don't want that. And they'll just not play with Razzle Dazzle for the day. Leader of the Pact. It's an idea I've toyed with before. But summoning a copy is always really cool and impactful, so... Okay, this is a bit loud. So yeah, that's Hero, or not Hero Cultist, Leader of the Pact. Soul Beneficiary is a Witchwood Azalina-esque card. Both players draw from a copy of their opponent's deck, so when you draw cards from it, they don't get removed. Good in Rogue and Priest, I guess. Pet Bestiary is a Echo board buff that only works on small minions, so you can buff a 0-attack minion twice, or a 1-attack minion once before it becomes unbuffable, basically. Maybe this kind of card is a bit DIY, almost honestly. Archlich Kel'Thuzad is a spin on the old Kel'Thuzad effect plus Frostmourne. Nothing much to say. Kind of a Spike or Timmy legendary. Goldfisher is a smaller Cold Light Oracle. Again, not much to say. Just kind of a pack filler. You know, people might consider this over Loot Hoarder or Novice Engineer, which is always, I think, a fun little balance between those two cards. Even Deathforge is a smaller Undertaker, basically. Nice of the Frozen Tome theme, but can't be in there due to Tomb Lurker, basically. Blessed Jet Departure was a first concept for how would warrior pirate synergy spells look like. I think ideally they would work with weapons a lot, but this is a very first take and a common at that, so draw a pirate from your deck is, for 1 mana, I think is pretty fair. Cool. Okay, I'll do a little bit of card reading, I guess. Oh, I'm waiting for the spreadsheet to load. Okay. Alright, where'd we leave off? What's the 100 subscriber special gonna be? I don't know. I know that's kind of a joke, but if someone wants me to do something special and they have a good idea, I don't know. Give me suggestions. Alright, Conscientious Protector. Your other 0-attack minions are immune. Design, 3 stars. I think it's a bit interesting. It plays with a powerful but underused keyword. Most 0-attack minions tend to be eggs, though. So while this does work with stuff like Sunwell, it just doesn't feel that impactful. It's almost like a worse taunt. Almost. Better taunt. Slightly better taunt, I should say. Balance. I'm almost going to give it a 1 because I don't know what you can do to this card to make it playable. OP 0-attack minions, I guess. Flavor gets a 1. Battery Rim gets a 3. I think that if you've already played this, is a bit interesting. It's like a really mini pogo hopper, but you don't need to bounce it for it to work. You can just run 2 copies of it. I think the taunt plus charge, I think it gets a 2 for flavor because I think it's got a funny name. I think the taunt plus charge is like a rarely seen combination, but that's what makes it kind of cool, is that you get the taunt first and then you get the taunt and charge after. And for balance, I think I'm going to give it a 3. I think it's perfectly balanced. Corber's Pups. 2 mana 1/1. Battle Cry. Battery Ram is OP Cosmetic. Magnetic. Oh, shoot. Wait. So this was designed before Snip Snap. Wait, was it? I don't know. When was this designed? Okay, anyway. Is it OP? Huh. Okay. It doesn't have magnetic though itself, you know what I mean? Maybe rush instead. Okay, I'm gonna say balance 2, cause yeah, in its current state, yeah, it should probably just be rush. Yeah, you're right. All right, Mex and charge don't work well together anymore. Okay, 2 mana 1/1 battle cry, summon 2 1/1 pups. Definitely will give your pups immune this turn. So I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it's fun to play with, but it's hard to parse. It's kind of hard to understand what this effect does. And it's just kind of clunky in general. For balance, I'll give it a 2 because I think it's balanceable. For flavor, I'll give it a 2 because I think it's cute. It's like Cerberus, but molten core. Okay, Apex Predator gets a 2. It has some weird tribal thing, like infinite, going on. If you have 2 Apex Predators, like infinite loops, kinda. So I don't know. Like, I think this could be a 3. If you take the beast tag off this, and then maybe make it a different tribe, I think you can make this work as like a 3. For balance, I'll give it a 2 because I think it's balanceable. And for flavor, it gets a 1. Cryptic Mark Maker gets a 1 for flavor. The next secret you play has Twin Spell. I'm going to give it a 3. I think the effect is somewhat interesting, but it's a bit unintuitive about how the Twin Spell doesn't let you play the secret twice. I mean, I think everyone knows that, but for balance, it gets a 2 because it's balanceable. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not that interesting. Cover Up Calmness. I'm going to give it 5-star design and a 2-star for flavor, too. And a 2-star for balance because I don't think it's super balanced right now, but it can be. So I think the flavor is pretty intricate, so that's why I think it's a 2 for flavor. I think it's a really cool design. It's like, I don't know, it feels similar to Mad Scientist in how like fair it is, and it's just got a nice parallel where like Paladin Secrets are the easiest to get into play because they're 1 mana, but they're also the worst, so they're a smaller reward and you get them from your deck. Mage Secrets, on the other hand, if you have a bunch, that's really hard to have a bunch, but if you do have a bunch, now you're going to get a ton more from Cover Up Calmness, so. And I think the flavor is really cute, so yeah, I like this one a lot. One of my favorites. Anti-Lifeguard. After a minion attacks your hero, return it to its owner's hand. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 3. The flavor gets like a 0, I think. This will be the first 0 flavor, or maybe not first, but like the flavor just doesn't make any sense. Balance gets a 2. I don't know, like, this card can probably exist at some point. I don't know how Blizzard would incorporate it into the game, but it just feels weird right now. That being said, I think it's kind of cool. You know, like, it's not exactly a 3-mana 3/4 taunt, because, like, there are times when your opponent will be able to benefit by attacking your hero and getting another battle cry, or you'll be able to, you know, gain extra battle cries. It's just hard to justify playing this card, I guess. Gilded Skyracer. The lowest cost card in your hand costs 0 this turn. Flavor gets a 1. Balance gets a 2. I think it can be easily balanced. And I'm going to give the design 5 stars. I think it's really cool how it, like, forces you to, you know, like, run a certain type of deck or have certain types of cards in your hand, because you can get, like, 7 mana 5/5, 10 cost card costing 0. That's obviously really hard. But I think it's a fun card and, like, produces pretty interesting play. Cull of the Week. Destroy your minions and that many random enemy minions. I'm going to give this a 5-star design, or maybe 4-star. Hold on, let me think. Flavor gets like a 1. I think it's a 2. Balance gets a 3. I'll give it a 4-star design. I don't actually like this card that much. It just feels very realistic, which is why I'm like kind of biasing the ratings. I feel like this is highly likely for Blizzard to print. So, over Spy Master. Give your opponent a random 1-cost minion from your hand to draw 2 cards. Who made these cards? These are all my cards from previous stream days. So, if you're wondering, why are you rating your own cards? It's mostly to learn, just to like derive some lessons and grow as a designer. Do some analysis on cards, figure out what I'm best at, what I'm worst at, etc. And if you want to provide feedback, there's a link in the description for rating the cards in the forum. So that's not necessary, rating the cards in the forum. It would just be cool to compare my ratings to the community ratings at the end, basically. So yeah, Over Spy Master is just really clunky. I don't really get what it's trying to do. I don't know. Gosh. I think it's balanceable, but like, I don't know what kind of deck wants this. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels very clunky and in your face. Okay, Astral Ascent. Each player draws the highest cost card from their deck. Yours costs as much as theirs. So, I like the effect. I think it's cool and interesting, but it's highly dependent on what your opponent is playing. It's also, like, kind of dangerous with giants. I think it's really cool. Yeah, that would be my biggest concern, is that it's dangerous with giants and just, like, kind of depends on what your opponent plays, but I think it is pretty cool, like I said. It's just like a neat effect. So that's why I'm giving it a 3. It would be a 4 if there was a way to fix some of the issues with the opponent and giants, but I don't think there is. So I think it's going to get a 3. I'm going to write that in comments. For flavor, it gets a 1. Oh, by the way, Jared, if you're confused on the scale I'm using, you can open the spreadsheet and see this scale. If you're wondering why this would be a 1 in flavor when you're like, it's not that bad. Well, it's because a 1 in flavor really isn't that bad. And for balance, I'll give it a 1 because, again, it's kind of hard to balance. Chained Gangster. I'm going to give it a 2 for flavor because I think the chain gang idea is kind of cute. For balance, I'm going to give it a 2 because I think it's really hard to evaluate, but it's probably balanced at some mana cost. And for design, I'm going to give it a 4-star because I think it like, it definitely rewards building a certain type of deck. One might argue that, like, well, it rewards you in building a deck when you run 1 cost minion, 2 cost minion, 3 cost minion, 4 cost minion, aka like Curve Stone, which is not super fun. And to be fair, I would say that, like, okay, we haven't seen those decks in a while. I did put this card in KNC, obviously, because it uses Recruit, and like during that time, Spiteful decks were a thing. This might have even been better than Spiteful in that deck. So, of course, if you do miss 1 mana cost, you have to build your deck pretty low. You have to build a deck almost entirely 1 through 6, like 4 copies of each, and then a couple like 7 cost, like Chain Gangsters. Because if you draw out entire 1 mana cost, it stops at that, and that tracks. So maybe balance, I'm gonna make a 1-star because it's polarizing. But I think it is a cool design. Heavy Sleeper, I'll give it a 2 for flavor. This is almost a, needs a wording change almost. It's a bit kind of vague what it does, but it's like an Enrage, and it's like can't attack, but Enraged can attack. I'm going to give it a 4-star. I think it's just a nice pack filler, and I think it's perfectly balanced. So it's going to get a 3 for balance. Yeah, Enrage. What is this Enrage you speak of? It's okay. Sir guy, whoever you are, sir guy. Wasn't there a card like this that was made already in the custom community or in game? In game, there's Quartz Elemental, which is the opposite. Oh, 0/4 Sleeping Gunman. Yeah, the 2-mana 0/4. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Actually, that's interesting. I completely forgot about that comparison, or like that card. That's an interesting comparison. It's definitely a bit different because like the Sleeping Gunman, like having 0 attack when it's not damaged, like, makes it really easy for your opponent to trade into. That's a good comparison, though. I totally forgot about that. Celestial Alignment. Draw spells or minions until you hold an equal amount of each. Okay, it kind of steals the flavor. Steals the flavor from Starliner a bit. Not a great self-silence. Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. It wasn't really meant to be like that. More of just like a cool, like pack filler for like self-damage, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the artwork's really nice. It's official Boomsday Project art. So I think the flavor's pretty good, even though it kind of steals it from Starliner. And I think I'm teetering between 4 and 5. I'm gonna put it at 4 because it's really like hard to deck build around. It's easy / possible to play around. Like, you have to fill your deck with both minions and spells. Given your current hand, you can usually figure out, do I play the minions or do I play the spells in order to work with Celestial Alignment. But it's kind of hard to deck build around. At 4, it competes with Psych Mode. That's a good point. I'm not gonna mark it down for balance, but I think the gameplay, the effect is what's holding the card's weight here. From a deck building perspective, it's kind of confusing to build around. For balance, I'll give it a 2 because it might be worth costing 4. Like you said, it would compete with Psych Melon, but yeah, I don't know. Alright, Garathi Annihilator. 5-mana 8/8. Death Rattle, discard your hand. Never been done before. Got a bounce. Well, thanks for watching. I won't be reviewing for too much longer, but Garathi Annihilator, so This one's tough because I'm sure this effect has been done a million times before. I'm not sure if BDP was the right fit, but I don't know what would be the right fit. Because, like, gosh, it's just really hard to put this card. It's just awkward. So I'm going to give it a 3-star for design. I think it's cool, like, impactful. It's a meaningful, like, it's a good downside for a 5-mana 8/8, plus you could turn it into an upside. That just kind of comes with the discard mechanic, though. I don't think Garroth the Annihilator does anything really interesting with that other than that. For balance, I'll give it a 1 because I'll give it a 2 because I don't think it's going to be broken with Quest. Nothing's ever broken with Quest because the Quest just sucks. And for flavor, it gets a 1, so. Yeah, I don't know, it's just not that interesting. I feel like I could have done something more interesting with the effect. Oathsworn Gatekeeper. Deal 7 damage to your hero or restore 7 health if you die. Alright, so I think I'm going to give this card a 5. It's really polarized. Like, dealing 7 damage to your hero is a lot. Restoring 7 health to your hero if you would die is really not that much. So the reward feels like not enough for the insane drawback that you're having to compete with. Compared to Cataclysm, it's low on the scale, rather one-dimensional and rather dull for the discard hand. Yeah, I think Cataclysm is a better... It's like more, I don't know, more fun. Like 4-mana destroy all minions versus like 5-mana 8/8. I guess different players have different ideas. But like to me Cataclysm seems more fun. But Oathsworn Gatekeeper, I think the effect is really cool, which I like. For balance, I think I'll give it a 1 because I think it's really hard to balance. You really can't tinker with the numbers too much. Because, like, as you drop that number, it makes the restore really bad. And it makes it really hard to reach. Because, like, drop it to 6, now you have to get even lower than 7 health, and it doesn't restore that much. So, yeah. Anyway. That was not stated very well, but I'm going to give it a 2 for flavor, because I think the idea of him, like, keeping the gate to your death is kind of cool. Conniving Hypnotist gets a 1 for flavor. I think it could be a 2. Like, I don't know, it's really close. It's just like, I got lazy with the name. I'm going to admit that. For balance, I'll give it a 2. Definitely would need some playtesting, some adjusting. I didn't really think about the balance too much. Maybe it's OP, maybe it's not. I guess it's really similar to Vile Spline right now. So that's probably strong. For design, I'll give it a 3. I'm surprised we haven't seen this yet, considering how like well received Light Bomb was and how much people liked the effect. Actually, I'll give it a 2 for flavor. Just because it kind of has a flavor wording with attacking itself, and it has some mechanical intricacies with that as well. But I think a better name than Conniving Hypnotist would be nice. Mitra do Leftovers. I'm going to give it 2-star for flavor. Actually, I'm going to give it a 3-star. Because I think it has that cultural connection with like Master of the House versus like Master of Leftovers. It's very funny. The art works very well with it, and you're drawing cards, which are basically the leftovers that get given to your opponent until no one wants them, basically. So I'm going to give it a 3 for flavor. For design, I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's pretty cool. You need to be playing a certain type of deck for your opponent to not want your cards. And your opponent might be incentivized to play those cards so that they can not get given back to you. I think balance is 2. I think you can balance this card pretty easily. So I think... some awkwardness with 2 cards, like, I feel like it should be 1 or 3. I don't know why. Maybe that's just my brain being weird, but 2 cards feels like kind of awkward. But anyway, Forge Revenant. If your hero is taking damage this turn, equip a 3/2 War Axe. I'm going to go 5 for design, 3 for balance, and 1 for flavor. I think that if your hero is taking damage this turn is really cool in Warrior. It incentivizes to use your cards in really cool ways, or maybe just like use a weapon. That's like an easy way to do it. It's a bit weird because a lot of self-damage warrior cards can't actually target your hero, I think that's fine though. I think that's really cool how it brings back Fiery War Axe, and how the minion itself is a 3-mana 3/2. Maybe I'm being too lenient with flavor, but I almost want to give it a 2 for flavor. I guess I'll just turn it into a discussion. Like, can flavor stats make that much of a difference? I think a lot of people will see this and like see the Fiery War Axe connection, and it'll improve their perspective on the card. Like, they'll like the card more because they realize it's like, oh, it's like a Fiery War Axe minion that equips itself. So if that's true, then I think it deserves a 2 for flavor. So, well, that's weird. Oh. But yeah, that's a discussion, I guess. Ice Crown Excavator gets a 2 for flavor. I think it's pretty cool. He like discovers a frozen yeti. Could use a slightly better name. For design, I'm gonna give it a 4-star because I think it's pretty cool. There's different ways to play with this effect. You're getting 2 mana worth of bonus. Summon a 4-mana frozen minion for opponent. So yeah, I don't know. Balance, I guess I'll give it an 8 because I think it might even use one more stat. But all right, I'm gonna stop it here because I don't want to review Grensar, Greathoof, or Justified Mallet, or Rattle of Decay. Wow, these are 3 of probably the worst cards in the set. We'll save that for another time. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I'll be streaming tomorrow, hopefully. I'll try my best to stream tomorrow because I won't be streaming for 3 days after that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you guys soon.